Member Raskin.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. And I was interested in the passionate statement of the gentleman from Georgia. I wish I had seen equal passion on behalf of public safety in the District of Columbia on January 6th, when 150 of our officers were violently assaulted by a mob that he came to describe as engaging in a normal tourist visit. Mr. Chairman, today's been a great lost opportunity. In the wake of the brutal violence in Nashville, which took the lives of 3 children and 3 adults, we've had the opportunity to try to unify the country around concrete, practical action in order to reduce and end the bloodshed across America that we're suffering in these mass murders. And yet, we punted on it. We decided not to do anything on it. And that's sad, because it's not red states versus blue states. Some of my colleagues pointed out that the homicide rate is higher in red states. I take no joy in that. These are all Americans. These are all our people who are dying in the epidemic of gun violence sweeping across the country. And there should be no red states or blue states, just the United States when it comes to trying to preserve the public safety of our people. And it's the same thing with democracy. Our commitment to democracy and voting rights and representation should not be determined by who we think people are going to vote for. I'm an American, and I want every American to be represented in the Congress of the United States. I want every community of tax-paying, draftable citizens like the one in Washington, D.C. to have representation. And I consider that a matter of basic civic respect and democratic pride. Now, this has been a degraded, tawdry discourse today with obsessive questioning about public urination. I hope the public doesn't see this hearing and regard all of it as an episode of public urination in which the people of Washington are the ones getting rained on. What are we really here to discuss? Well, it's not defunding the police, which has nothing to do with it. And of course, Mr. Allen pointed out they were talking about 0.5% of the overall budget, a cut, but that has nothing to do with it. This is not budgetary in any way. We're not here to talk about carjacking as much as we've heard about carjacking, and we're not here to talk about anecdotes. The anecdotes are indeed grim, lurid, shocking. Here, I'll give you a few more. Man arrested after pistol whipping, carjacking. Man in custody after carjacking woman at gunpoint. Police arrest 2 juveniles on suspicion of carjacking after pursuit. 18-year-old arrested in carjacking mother at gunpoint in front of a child. Searching for a person of interest in a double homicide. And police department lookout tweets. Conducting a shooting investigation. Please avoid the area. Have been placed on lockdown due to a shooting in the area. Terrible. All of it. We should disenfranchise the people in this community, right? The people of Bakersfield, California, where I just took all these headlines from just by going online, which is represented by Speaker Kevin McCarthy. What an absurd way to think about legislating, to read a bunch of headlines and then think that that's some kind of principled analysis of a problem. What are we talking about? The Comprehensive Policing and Justice Amendment Act of 2022. They want to build on their success in overthrowing the criminal code revision by now overturning this. And why? Well, Chairman Mendelson explained it. It's because the union doesn't like the fact that they can no longer have as a subject matter of collective bargaining, discipline of officers, which is controversial around the country. Some of my colleagues said they were surprised to see Democrats standing up so strong for democratic self-government. I'm surprised to see so many Republicans standing up so strong for whatever a union says, because this is purely a police union agenda to say that they should be able to bargain their own discipline. And as Chairman Mendelson said, you've got people who are assailants, robbers, rapists, who are able to get back on the force because they've made that a matter of collective bargaining. Now, you might agree with it, you might disagree with it. This is the choice of the people of Washington, D.C. And this is going to come to the floor now, and they're going to engage in all of this hysterical anti-crime rhetoric. They're so tough on crime. Well, except for January 6th and violent insurrection and those 1,000 cases that are clogging up the courts of the District of Columbia, But they're so upset about crime, they want to overturn this police reform legislation. Ridiculous. Everybody should vote against this. I yield back.